How do you get this shit? Oh my god.
Good morning, Black women.
All right, good morning, Black women. I had got a comment today in reference to me possibly having a call-in show, but I honestly do not have a one of those Google phones or a home phone landline where I can get a Google number and then have you call in. And I don't like that kind of stuff anyway because I'm not trying to be funny. I prefer the link because the link is created to make you, sound very clear in the conversation, and it's just easier. I mean, if you don't want to show your face, you could always put a black screen and talk, but I don't have a phone. I mean, I don't have a phone in my house anymore, so I can't do that. And I don't have an extra cell phone, just the one that I own personally. So all I have is access to the link. So, I came on because I assumed that the lady who had commented wanted to come up and share her view, which I don't have a problem with. I told you guys you can do that. We're gonna keep it non-disrespectful, and not crazy. But come on up and talk and say whatever it is you gotta say. Um, about your feelings about everything, and you're welcome to do that. I have until like 11 o'clock because this is Wednesday. So, me with my car being parked out here, I gotta get in it and wait for sanitation and get out the way if they tell me to, and then come back and park. So, I have time today. So, if you guys want to come or hit the link, you can. Um, Outside of that, um, and it's not much going on today. Same stuff as from yesterday. You know, I'm noticing, like I said, a lot more of the women all over YouTube, whether they be content creators or subscribers, trying to do this, running back to trying to get black women to rally for black guys, and I think they need to stop that. I know they need to seriously stop that, because I don't know what it is with black women, but it's like, can we get over this fear and this false narrative of thinking that because these particular individuals don't know how to conduct themselves, these black dudes don't know how to conduct themselves as adults, you are somehow responsible, and you look bad in the eyes of others because they can't do what they're supposed to do. That is not a reflection on you. That is actually a reflection on them. And the whole world sees them for the ridiculous type of individual that they are. Like, I mean, just the other day, who put up the video? I'm trying to remember who put up the video. Um, A Piece of My Mind, right? She put up the video showing you that there are other people out here who see the nonsense they're doing, and people are frankly getting disgusted with it. And so that should be enough for you to understand that you don't have to keep caping for them and trying to make it seem like, you know, if you don't have them to try to believe, you have to fall back on, or I don't know what you're thinking about them, but whatever it is, throw it away. Because, I mean, if no one's ever told you you're enough, like, you are enough. You should love yourself enough to fulfill yourself in life. You should love yourself and know that, enough to know no one should make you feel like you need another person so you can feel comfortable or loved in life or confident enough. No one is supposed to do that for you. Now I understand why we're like that. We're like that most of the time because of society and these patriarchal rules and these gender roles that society creates for women to punch down on women in society to make males feel like big people, when it's actually not that way at all. When you look at things in actuality and reality, like, most women could go through some of the worst situations in the world and still come out, whether they're messed up or not, still come out and be functional, be a little post traumatic, but get themselves together and keep functioning unless they completely give up, which is a small percentage, but it's not the other way around when it comes to the dudes, because it's always them feeling like, they're going to, I don't know, have a breakdown or something. I'm not sure, when they can't get their way. So it's, I don't know. But I know we as black women, we need to move away from all that type of feeling like we're helpless and hopeless because of how other people think of us, what the nasty stuff they want to say to us and try to do to us. You're not responsible for another person's actions or how they want to disrespect and dehumanize you. That's not on you, that's on them. So, it's just like, I wish we really could understand that, and that I would like to see women, black women, fight for themselves and their children as hard as they do for people they're wrongfully trying to get into relationships with, who, when you think about things, how they normally go, okay, so you get into a relationship with somebody. There's a small window of what you perceive to be happiness, but if it's actually analyzed, it's not happiness. It's you being used slightly. Then it's you being used intermediately. Then it's you being used significantly, possibly physically hurt, your life taken from you, etc. Your whole life turned upside down. Whatever you worked very hard for to accumulate in your life, now it's gone. Like, I mean, that's usually how it goes, right? Or your time is wasted, or they come in your life and it's about like having all of this incredible sex with you, and then as soon as they have enough sex with you, then it's like, oh, thank you for allowing me to fuck you. I gotta leave now. I gotta go somewhere else. I mean, why would you want to go through all that wasted time, abuse of your body, and etc. For what? Because you've been indoctrinated in society to believe and been made to feel like it's your role to be abused by a dude because you're a woman. You have to reject that. You have to completely reject that. Is there anybody that would like to hit the link and actually come up and give their piece outside of the one lady who probably doesn't know I'm live right now who wanted to speak? Um, I assume she would have seen me, but I don't know her circumstance. Maybe she's at and she can't like literally. Oh my God, come on. And she can't like, sorry about that, one of those notifications came through and like disrupted my whole camera situation. uh I don't know, maybe she's at work and she can't speak freely on the good morning, Phoenix Rising. Where you at, Phoenix Rising? Okay, let me put a star next to you. Well, thank you, Phoenix, I appreciate it. Let me tell you, I had to fly up out the bed. I wasn't worried about looking beautiful. I was sleeping good, right? Because today's a day off for me. And I forgot that I had to be sitting in this car not to get a ticket. So I'm sleeping. And then you know how like I have times when my body just wakes up. So I woke up and Naya's walking around doing crazy stuff yet again. And I'm like, Naya, come on, what are you doing, girl? So I go in the kitchen, I eat, I go in the bathroom, I wash up, put some clothes on, and then I look at the clock and I'm like, oh my God, it's like 9:18, right? So I'm like, I run outside, jump in the car because you got to be in the car by 9:30. Let me open the window. I'm starting to get hot now. And I'm sitting here. I have to stay here till 11, but I'm like, oh my, I'm trying to get a big ass ticket because I'm sleeping good. I'm like, oh Lord, what's wrong with me? And last night, I was doing my documentary thing. So I was watching the y'all guys check that out. That documentary was good on Hulu. I didn't finish it. I got one more part to it. It's the Afina Shakur and Tupac documentary. Sorry y'all. Every time I open the window, every large truck in the world when it pass by making noise, you know, my neighbor going to work. But anyway, I started watching that last night and it was really good. I learned so many things about him that I did not know. And I was having a conversation with a couple of family members as I was watching it. And I was like, listen, why is it that they never ever like incorporate his aunt, who is Asada Shakur? Now, if you guys ever read that book, Asada, oh my God, that black lady was, ooh. Okay, if I wanted to be a complete badass, I would want to be Asada Shakur. She was another part of the Black Panther movement. She actually had to leave America, so she currently lives in Cuba right now because she, you know, y'all read the book. I ain't gonna give it away. Let her get some money. Let her get some royalties, right? So, but she had to leave America for how no nonsense of a black woman she was, and so she 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 had to flee for her life. So she appealed to Fidel Castro, and he said, "Yeah, come on, you could come to Cuba." And she's been in Cuba ever since. But her book is tough. And again, both those women, well, actually, all those women in his family, like the mother of Feeney, she has a sister named Glow. That lady's a piece of work too. His uncles were also a piece of work, and these are the siblings of the mom, right, of his mother. If you read their personal books, their individual books, and then see that documentary, I think you'll get a brand new perspective on like who he was, why he did the things he did, and all of that personal crisis that was going on inside of him. Because You know, he was highly intelligent, and so was all of those people around him. She said, "Oh, I wanted to watch that." So it's what, yeah, it is. But listen, let me just say this to y'all, and I'm not trying to be insulting. Anytime you see documentaries on people that were like icons in life, it's always good to like check it out because hold on, there's another damn truck. Just 1 minute. Let me close the window on this side. They make so much noise. It's just one of those things. So it's always good to watch the documentaries because you get like a background that you would never have learned or known about unless these people didn't come out and like spill their soul. And he was more, believe me when I tell y'all, he was more than just some dumbass rapper. This guy literally made the United States government nervous. The reason he made them nervous was because not only was he a very captivating, can move the crowd, so to speak, right? To borrow a hip hop phrase, he had the type of charm that Malcolm had, and he was young. So that scared this country because y'all got to understand this country doesn't worry about old people. They're afraid to death of young, intelligent, I want to do the right thing type of young people. And it doesn't matter what type of person you are, like that crosses all demographics, all ethnicities, because you have the longevity to outlive them and make the changes in the country that they are afraid to happen. That's why you scare the shit out of them. So when he was in his prime, like when I say that, I mean when he was fully in his social activist high, right? He was mobilizing people to vote before we had these huge like voter registration campaigns. He was mobilizing people in California, New York, and I think where he lived in Baltimore at one time, mobilizing the people to understand that drugs in the community was a complete setup and put there to keep you destitute, keep your families dysfunctional, to keep you going in and out of prison so that you could be used as like human commodity to make money, or all the different fractions in the government that made money off of incarceration, foster care, homelessness, um, that GED program. Like he went into all the specifics, right? And he's right. And it's still like that to this day. And so he went on to try to teach people the whole relationship between supply and demand when it comes to goods in the country, as well as using people as goods. So the fact that he was so relevant is because, it's a patriarchy and people do not tend to listen to women when women are just as smart, or, in my opinion, smarter, trying to tell them, watch out for this. This is going to be very harmful to you. When you see this, don't go nowhere near it. People have a tendency to look at women and go, what do you know? You're just a woman, right? But if a guy says it, then it's like, oh, he's a dude, so he must know what he's talking about, right? And they pay more attention. So that's why he was such a, and possibly why he had to be taken out of this life. Oh, hold on, somebody's there. I'm talking and talking and don't even realize it. God damn, what's the matter with me? Hold on, Jack. Hold on, Jack. Um, hold on, Jackie. Let me try to get you up here. Add her to the stream. Jackie, are you up here?
Yeah, you can you hear me?
Yeah, I apologize. I'm talking and talking. I didn't even. I just looked down and saw you was there. I'm sorry, hon. Go ahead. Go ahead and say what
No,
you
no,
need to
you're
say.
good. I just got in. Like I literally just got in. I didn't even know you were even live until like 2 seconds ago. I was like, dang, I forgot.
Yeah. Today I turned on the stream, y'all. That's I'm not messing with YouTube today. YouTube crazy. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So in your last stream you were talking about the BWE content creators and how they were basically deliberately trying to like steer black women into going down this functional route and stuff like that. Here, for me, right now, I'm gonna hold both the content creators and the subscribers accountable, because at this point, I'm just really, really annoyed at this point with this whole situation. Because, like, here, with me, I'm 22 years old. I vaguely knew about the BWE sector. Like, I was on YouTube, but I was like watching other stuff, like maybe like some makeup and girl stuff, whatever. And I vaguely saw like maybe like a Sinji, Chris, Paris, like maybe like once or twice in a blue moon, but I never like thought too much of it.
Uh-huh.
And it was stuff like, oh, black males, they keep putting white women, all their racist women on a pedestal. They keep saying this, that, they say black women, this, that. I didn't think too much of it because I was just like, whatever, they're stupid, right? So, and I didn't realize just how bad the situation was until 2020, when TikTok started to get popular, like really bad popular. And then I saw all these, and the thing is, I was never even on TikTok. I was on YouTube, and then on all these YouTube's videos, I'm hearing all these stories about these young black boys and black men, grown adult black men out here talking mad shit about black women and girls, and I'm just like, what the hell? And then I'm just thinking to myself, and then what broke my heart the most, there was this young black girl. She was like 15 years old, and she was on the video crying because of all the hate speech and everything these people were saying. She was like, oh my goodness, like, why are you guys saying these things? Like, what did we ever do? I was like, oh my God, what the hell? And then I'm just thinking, like, where are all these adult black women out here checking these dudes and all these black males who are supposed to be out here, like, checking these guys? And why is this even being allowed? And then this thing goes on and on and on and on, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. I'm glad that I'm at a stage in my life, like I'm like a young adult, so my head, I'm like, I know this is stupid, but I'm thinking about the younger girls, because if I was around that age, I was very fragile. So around
Yeah.
that age, like, you're just watching this stuff, and I'm just like, oh my God, these girls, oh my God, I cried for them. So seeing all this stuff, and then years go by, a couple years go by, and then stuff gets worse, and then it's like, these content creators, right, they see this stuff, they see
Yep.
all this stuff that's going on, and they're like, and it's like, but they keep making, like, and they're not making excuses for it necessarily, but it's like, we're making a spectacle out of this, you know what I
Right.
mean? It's
That's
like,
right.
okay, we understand it. We understand it. These guys are messed up. They keep saying this. They keep saying that. They keep saying all these things and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, but now what? We already know these guys don't like us. We already know the whole world doesn't like us. Black males don't like us. Non-black people don't like us. It is what it is. We already know. They said every single book called us everything in the book except the child of God. Call this, call this that. And then there was another there was even a live that I kind of like saw. I didn't saw it, but like it was recommended. I was like, oh God. And the title was something like, oh, biracial man says this about black women dating interracially. I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, like, we already know. We already saw the whole thing. We saw the reactions. We saw everything that's going on. We know. And then, like I said before, I didn't know how bad it was until 2020. So I'm just thinking to myself, wait a minute, if this has been going on since like forever, and basically since internet started, and even before then, and we're still talking about this, and we're still going on, I'm like, why are we still making a spectacle out of these guys and everything they're saying, and of what people are saying about us and stuff like that? Why are we not like focusing on black women in general? Because I remember during when I was like 14 around that time, there was this whole lot of videos like about the hair movement, about black women like and girls like learning to love their hair and everything. Because back then, when I was in middle school, a lot of the girls were like perming their hair, putting, leaving their hair in braids for like the longest, or leaving the wigs the longest. And I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those girls, because I had a big problem with my hair, right? Like a big problem with like loving my hair. I felt very ugly about myself. Like, and then there's a whole thing with colorism too and stuff.
Yeah.
It was bad. And then I had this one crush on a black boy, and it turns out that he was only interested in white girls, and I was like so upset. Yeah, the typical black girl story. And And you know, the natural hair movement, when they were talking about natural hair and taking care of it, and I'm not gonna lie, because I followed some of them, not all of them are good advice, but I did follow some of them and what they were saying. And I was like, because of that, I figured out a regimen that was going to help grow my hair out, and it was so healthy and long. But unfortunately, I had to cut it off because, you know, it was like too many split ends. I didn't even know split ends was a thing, but it was like basically like we were helping each other learn to love ourselves and learn to like embrace our own image, because that was a big problem with me with was the image part. Like I wanted us to feel good and look at ourselves in such a positive light, because if we had that when I was growing up, yeah, I think as a child I would have been a much better off. Like my whole mentality not feel so self-loathing and then put myself in situations that would put me bad, because I when I was in like 6th grade, I'm not really I'm gonna release a little secret, but I had a crush with this white boy, right? and he was dating the, you know, a friend of mine. She was a white Hispanic girl, whatever. And you know, they broke up, and then, you know, he found out I had a thing for him, and he was like, hey, you know what? Let's just like, you know, I'm over here, you're over there, so let's just like, you know, sext each other, you know, send nude photos, whatever. And at the time, I was like, had a low self esteem. And I was like, you know what? This is the best way to get this guy to like me. So let me just participate with him. And I did. And looking back at it, I'm like, God damn, I really sold myself so cheap. If
No,
I
you didn't.
just,
No, you
yeah.
didn't, because you didn't know any better, and he was deliberately trying to exploit you. But I just want to say this to interrupt. I'm glad you made that point in reference to if you knew those things, you wouldn't be so self loathing, and how you would have been a different person. You would have had a higher level of happiness. I'm glad you said that for any young woman that watches this, because she'll know that the things that happen to us in our families and in our communities is intentionally done to make sure that we have low self esteem, to limit our productivity, to keep us in the mindset of being like second and third class citizens, so that we never escape poverty. Because the whole thing is to use all of us as this country's commodity. Like for everybody to step on our back to get wherever they're going and leave us in the dirt. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good you said that, so that people know you don't have to accept maltreatment. That maltreatment is done intentionally to break you, to make sure you don't live up to your greatest potential. But now, when you're giving your testimony, you're giving people hope and giving them clarity to things they may have been struggling with individually, so that they know that no, I'm not crazy for feeling like there's something wrong with this. This is something wrong. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, no, you're good. You're good. You know, I don't mind, to be honest with you. But yeah, so I'm just thinking to myself, like you said about like we know this, like that's the thing with black women and even black males, but specifically black women because we're talking about black women. We know this stuff. Like I've seen some of the videos from back in like 2014, 13, 12. They know this. And it's like, if you know this, why are we still making a spectacle? It's like we're still at stage one, constantly there, constantly there. I'm like, let's just focus away from these males and just focus on us. You know what I mean? Just focus on us, because that's what I like. Because to be honest with you, I was at one point like, you know, consuming that kind of content like constantly, constantly, constantly. And it wasn't until I broke out of it, like just said, you know, let me take a break, and I realized something. I don't even care about males. Like
Yep.
I don't even care about these dudes. If anything, I don't even treat them well, to be honest with you, because they're so annoying. Like they're so annoying. Like how are y'all so obsessed with these dudes? They're so annoying and so boring as hell. Ugh. So I'm just
They,
like,
they they got a lot going on, Jay, because it's like you're taught this stuff, it's indoctrinated into you through society, family, religion. It's like the whole world wants women to be the human servant of males, period. When you think seriously for a minute, Jay, think about women throughout the world.
mm,
Think about if you didn't live in America, how really bad your life would be. Being born in other places where women are really, really restricted. They can't
mm,
go to school, they can't work, they can't even go outside without a guy chaperoning them. Like treating grown ass women like they're little children.
mm-hmm,
So it's a thing that they've done because I don't know what it is about them where they have to feel like they're above someone, and they take great pleasure in hurting a woman. It is the weakest shit that is known to man, but it's what they do so they can feel empowered. You see now what is going on in America, right? With all of these white males trying to take the rights away from women in general because they feel like women are getting too powerful, becoming way too independent. And what that does is make them feel like there's no room for them because they can't control your life and control literally your body. That is to me a mental illness. Because I could
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you, if women were in the position to cut their dicks off, cut their nuts off, and give all of them vasectomies and treat them as somebody to just do shit when you need them to do it, like free labor, they would really have a problem with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't they think that we would not have a problem with them feeling like the only thing we're good for is to fuck on us, have children, and be their maids when we marry them? Why wouldn't they think we got a problem with bullshit like that?
Exactly. It's something that I've even noticed. That's even something I've been noticing when it comes to all these like manosphere stuff, all the stuff on TikTok about women need to do this, women need to do that. If you notice, they're like literally deliberately trying to force that down your throat.
Yep.
It's almost like, because let's think about it. Like, it's a, if you really think about it, like for example, with this whole thing with like black women stuff, like black males, they can't financially oppress us because these guys
Mhm.
have no money, no aspirations to get money and stuff like that, and they know this, that they can't financially do it because other groups of men, they can do that because they got money and the women don't have money like that. So it's easier for the non-black males to do that. But with the black males, so what they do, they had to like turn it around to make it seem as if like we had to use like this whole mental warp thing with the whole,
Yeah.
oh, you know, you're not good, you're not submissive, you're too this, you're too that, you're too much of a negro, stuff like that. And then I'm just over here like, how are you, like, you guys are not noticing this? Like, you guys know these guys are broke. They have no money. And even with these non-black males and stuff, like, think about it.
Mhm.
Like, any man who has the time to come on social media all day every day to just berate women and tell them this, tell them that, and insult you, how can you be attracted to someone like that and really listen to them? You know what I mean? Because
It
I'm like,
goes back to Jay. It goes back to that environment we come from. Black
mm,
women have always been beaten down in this country, and because of that, those psychological effects of slavery, our people have learned that generation from generation, and that's why they talk horribly to their children, beat the shit out of their kids, and like pretty much dehumanize them to make them feel like abuse is something that they're supposed to get used to. Go ahead,
mm,
Jay.
I see. It's
Like, it happened to me, Jay. And remember yesterday when we were talking about RSW talking about her
yeah,
traumas in her childhood?
yeah.
That shit is so normal in the black community. It's normalized for people to feel like they have a right to brutalize black women and little girls when you don't. And when there are women that stand up and kill men and beat people and do things back, they want to try to the country and everyone tries to make you an example, a martyr, to show other women that, oh, you better not stand up and do what she does because this will happen to you. When she's not doing anything wrong, she's standing down on the fact that she needs to be respected and given the same rights and respect as a human being as any male. So that's where a lot of that stuff comes from, Jay. A
Yeah,
lot
it's
of it.
I think
Okay.
the best, yep, what was that?
I said, go ahead. Mm.
Oh yeah. The best example of that, biggest eye opener was the whole Meg Thee Stallion situation. Like, that's a good example of people out here like attacking her for saying, for, like, against
Jay,
Tory Lanez.
Jay, you breaking up a little bit. Maybe move in another space or something. Go
Can
ahead.
you hear me now?
I can hear you, but you was breaking up a little bit.
All right, let me stay up. Let me just put it like right over here. All right. So what I was saying is that when you're talking about, you know, like shutting you and making an example out of you for even speaking out, a good example of that that really broke my heart was the whole Megan Thee Stallion situation. When
Mhm.
she was like, at first she just said that she stepped on glass, but then because of the whole situation 2020 with the George Floyd stuff or whatever, and then eventually, but because that guy was out here like talking bad shit about her and like saying all this stuff, she was forced to come out and say, no, this man is the one who shot me. And because she did that, because she had the nerve to even like call out a black male, and the thing about him, he wasn't even popular before the whole Meg Thee Stallion situation. And that's what makes it even worse. It's like this man was nobody. Like I knew about a couple of his songs, but it's like outside of that, he wasn't nobody. So that's what even made it even worse. It's like, how are you guys okay, I know why, but you know, the whole patriarchy and just think and following everything of man. But it was like that was what was even crazier to me about that. Like, and everyone just shutting her and just like saying all these things. I'm like, is she not supposed to speak up about being shot at by somebody? Like,
No,
and
Jay,
then
she's not. She's not supposed to speak. She's supposed to suffer in silence and protect this dude because you know the white man is always coming down on the black male only, as if black women and children don't get the same exact treatment that these black males get. That's the reason why.
and the funny and you want to I don't like I really don't like big up all black people. I really don't because I just don't feel comfortable. But even they called out the bullshit about the whole situation. And that just lets you know just how seriously fucked up that whole thing was. Like, tell me how we had black media, we had both black media and white media talking about this entire situation. And then tell me how the black media were out here trying to dig up every single reason to make it seem as if like Megan
Meg
was a
liar.
like a liar, but then it
Mhm.
was a white media, like it was two journalists, I don't remember their names, but two journalists, and they were out here speaking the facts, trying to follow up everything. Like they didn't put any bias, anything, they just like said, hey, this is what's happening, this is what's happening, what's happening. And I'm just and that was and when I really saw that distinction, I'm just over here thinking to myself, like, God damn,
Mhm.
like you the same white people that y'all were out here condemning and saying they're abusers, they're the ones who was calling out the abuse that y'all are out here doing towards her. And they're the ones who even created this whole system of abuse. So that's also
Yep.
just, you know, just how fucked up and how fired up your whole thing is. And then
You know why that happens, Jay?
yeah.
Because now I'm about to say something that's gonna insult a lot of people, but it is what it is. Like
Mm,
even though white people, the forefounders, and the ones that take advantage of the infrastructure that was created from slavery to gain and create their wealth and stuff in this country,
mm,
they're smart enough to understand, unlike many black people who only want to see things on a one-dimensional level, right?
mm,
That you cannot keep staying in the same mode of ignorance and education and never go any higher because you're going to fail. When I say fail, like they do things to maintain their control, their status quo, right?
mm,
So if they stayed the type of people where it was blatantly obvious that, oh yeah, we don't like you, we're not fucking with you, and everything we do is to make sure you don't have shit, everybody would get on board with identifying the fact that you are just deliberately fucking with these black people. And that makes you a horrible fucking person. I'm not going to be on your side. They're not stupid. They know that. So they have to come up with diabolical ways to convince the world that so-called the devil doesn't exist when they are in fact the devil incarnation. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah.
they gotta play head games with you to make you think that, you know, yeah, we really not that bad. We tell the truth, but we tell the truth only when it really benefits us and it makes you look like the asshole and it shows your limitation as a people. So every time they do something, it is not because they're doing it for something that's fair and just. They do things to re-establish their dominance and their position so that people from the outside looking in at the whole situation who are not part of us don't align with us to go against them. But see, black people, they fuck up in this situation because instead of them doing the right thing and constantly elevating themselves and being more functional, being more collective, more united, more solidified, and you know, not that's not a word, more in solidarity with each other and moving towards all of the things we need to make us whole in this country politically, economically, every socio-economic level, right? They
Mm,
don't do that because they still have that buck mentality where, oh, I'm gonna get mine, fuck you. And when I get mine, if you can't get yours, I don't know what you're gonna do. You gotta get rid of that ignorant shit if you want things to get better. Cause every other people in this country move together. We're the only ones that move separately thinking we're gonna get somewhere.
Oh, I see. Wow. So you're
So
saying
that's go ahead.
you're basically saying like they kind of like use that opportunity to really further highlight the dysfunction in that whole thing and make it so it's like, we're not as bad as it seems. How could you call us bad where they're way worse than what we could ever do?
Exactly. It's like it's constantly turning the tables back on the victim, but a victim who's too stupid to realize that they're the victim, furthering their own issue. Like, if these black dudes would stop being so fucking stupid, right? And I'm going to take it fully into the context of where it is, right? They are the hindrance. They're the monkey on the black women's and community's back. If they would get their shit together collectively, black people would do much better. Like, if they would stop worrying about black women trying to make us look like we're the problem and they're not, and we're supposed to be underneath their rule and their control because we're children and we're not able in their mind to be full functioning women who are adults who have the right to live through life freely and do what we want to do in life. We're supposed to be here to do what they feel we are supposed to do only, right? Now, if they would stop being like that, go to school like black women do, get a real education, get more than one job, create things amongst themselves. I'm not just talking about when people say, oh, go make a community, because it's difficult to do that in America because America is going to have a lot to say about that shit, right? But if you go to school, start start making your own money, being literally a functional giving into society in grown person the way that they are not. Only thing they contribute to society is crime, abuse, and the threat of people losing their lives, right, when they encounter them. If they would literally change that shit overnight, people would look at them differently and their relationships with everybody, including black women, would change, and their ability to grow the way that they should. You ever heard the term like to your best self advocacy? You ever heard that? Jay, you there? Jay, I don't know. I can't hear you. Maybe you're on mute or you lost the connection. If you want to drop down and come back, you can. Jay. So, but everyone, what I'm saying is, she probably had a little technical thing. She'll come back. But what I'm saying is, y'all, is that if they would check themselves, correct themselves, things wouldn't be so easy for whites and other people to infiltrate into our community and either pretend to build us up only to tear us back down, or just come in and just literally let you know we're here like badasses to fuck up everything that you got going for you, and what you gonna do about it. That wouldn't be able to happen because everybody would be on one accord. Everyone will be moving collectively the way that they should as an ethnic group or racial group in this country, the same way everyone else does. And then you could have these fairy tale, to a certain extent, two family households where two adults independently come together, respect each other's autonomy, respect each other's adulthood, and do not think that just because it's the male, he's supposed to be above the woman, above the children, above everyone, and have ultimate say, rule, and control, and feel like whatever it is that he decides to do is correct, and the woman actually has nothing to say, and therefore she just has to go along like a child and be guided by everything he says. People would look at you differently, they would treat you differently, and you would have access to more assets in this society. That's what I mean by that. Jay, I'm sorry, go ahead if you have something to say.
Oh no, you're good. Like, I was in my car and I was using my phone and the temperature got too high and then
I hear you, because I'm in the car too, and I know it gets real hot real quick. You wouldn't think so, but it's like I guess a car is like a tin can. If it's cold as hell, and if it's hot as hell, unless you turn on the air or the heat. And I don't have on neither right now. I'm just sitting here, but from time to time it is burning me up. But yeah, I get you. I know. Well, go ahead, Jay. Say what you were saying. I'm sorry you had that issue with. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, it's all good. Yeah, yeah, but I did hear what you were saying before. About the whole like wanting to like change your mentality and change your mentality and how you feel about yourself and all these things. And I just and then I really had to like I don't know, I really had to question like and I'm watching like the content creators and I'm reading the comment sections, the live streams, all these things, and it's like I have to ask, like Black women, like what exactly do you want? You know what I mean? Like what exactly do you want? Like you say you want this, you say you want that, you want to elevate yourself, you want to think differently, you want to do this, you want to do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I encourage that, but it's like, well, yeah, you keep like wanting to attach yourself to this, that, and I know like it's all this whole social conditioning, and well, we have to stick by the black male, we have to stick by him at all costs. But it's like, but you know who this guy is, and you know how he feels about you, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, how does that make any sense? How can you say like, and I know these women want to do it because you can hear in their voice they really want better, they want more, they want to feel good, they want to feel good about themselves, they want to be protected, feel safe and supported. But it's like, but you know guys don't want to do that for you.
Yep.
And I know it's social conditioning, but it's like you know what it is, you recognize it, you see it. But why does it have to like it like I don't know, it's like they're not black women are not dumb. Okay, they're not dumb. There's some smart women, but it's like how does I don't know. It's like how does that compute in your head that you have to and you know they're dragging you down and saying this shit and all these stuff and making your life 10 times worse, but it's like
It's
I don't know, is it
unnecessary
like you're
loyalty, Jay.
what was
You
that?
heard me? It's
Oh, what was that?
unnecessary. It's unnecessary taught loyalty that they need to give to themselves and their children, not to grown
Yeah,
men who have proven themselves to be, um, just they're not worth them, and they're a problem. But it's the that shit that's taught to you, like, oh, you got to look out for the black male. Everybody's doing something to him, as if the whole world looks at you and go, nah, you're exempt. We just fucking with him. They don't do that. They fuck with all of us. And these guys are detrimental to black women and black children. And the only way that they're going to get their shit together, if ever, and black women and children will be good, is if black women and children completely separate from them. Like, leave them the fuck alone. That's the only way. Because, like you said a little while ago, when you removed your concern and them from your life, you were happier. You felt better every day. You found other things that made you feel really good. And other black women and young girls would experience that as well if they stopped prioritizing their connection to these fools and cared more about themselves and other women and children that were like them, instead of worrying about these dudes. Because these dudes are not worrying about anybody but themselves.
exactly. Exactly. And that's what I really want to like just highlight. Like at least think of it like this. Like I was on your channel, like well I wasn't like on the panel, but I mentioned about like the other stuff like I like to watch. For example, I am obsessed with Black Girl Travel. I wish there was more videos of Black Girl Travel. Like y'all need to be out here traveling so I can live vicariously through you. I don't care if it's pathetic, but come on. Right? Like, I was
Well,
so obsessed with those videos. I loved watching videos of Black women like giving some like advice, like creating
yeah,
businesses
Jay,
and those
Jay,
kinds of things. But those
you
are the things
breaking
that,
up a
yeah.
little again. You was breaking up a little again. Watch out. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead, Jay. And I heard what you said
Yeah,
about the travel. Yeah.
yeah. Like I was so obsessed with those videos, and I always watch them, and I still watch them a lot. But like I said, I just wish they had more of them. But it's like, come on, we already know the answer to these questions. We already know what it is. We don't need to make more of a spectacle of it. Like, and then there was like another there's a content creator. Her name is Jenny O. She kind of like makes like sensationalized videos of these
Yeah, I know.
TikTokers and what people do. And then there
Yeah.
was this one about oh, this white woman making a video talking about about which hairstyle that Black women wear that are more appropriate than others, and it's all these other Black women like reacting. I'm like, y'all, what the hell? Like, why are y'all even reacting to this woman? You already know she's a fucking hater. And then there was another video of another white woman talking about, oh, my braids are in, and she had a fake tan, like brown, almost as brown as you, to be honest. And
I
then the
believe.
braids. I'm just like, why are we still talking about these people, giving them so much clout? And I'm like, can
You
we
know why,
stop?
Jay? You know why? Because that's the shit that gets the clicks and the views, right?
Yeah,
Now,
like,
let me just let white women know who don't know. You can fuck around and wear braids for a little while, but your hair is not like ours. So unless you want to be fucking bald, you need to be really careful with how you keep fucking with Black women's hairstyles, because you ain't gonna have no hair. You're gonna be a bald headed motherfucker looking crazier than you do right now. And it's really the truth. Like, I'm gonna tell you, I have white people related to me and my family. The men marry into my family, right? But of course, they come from families of their own. And this is how white women are. I'm not hating on them right now. I'm just being honest, right? They are like literally fascinated with Black women. Like when we have to go to their houses and shit and deal with them because they're family and we have a family function, there's always a white woman that comes from out of nowhere that's related to the white man, that's married into my family, that wants somebody to braid their hair, teach them how to cook something, learn how to do something they've seen a Black woman do. And it's like, okay, all right. However, when I was braiding someone's hair one day, and I told her, I said, it's a whole lot of differences of braiding Black women's hair. We do many different braids. It's not just the standard box braid or cornrow. We know how to do plenty shit, right? So when I was braiding her hair, I said, let me explain something to you. When you take this out, you do know your hair is going to come out, right? And she was like, what are you talking about? I said, your hair is too thin to be wrapped and controlled the way ours is, because our hair is thick, tough, and just a different texture. And it's made for these type of things that we do. She didn't want to listen, Jay. She just had to have box braids, right? Because I literally told her, I'm not going to cornrow your hair because that would be way too frustrating for me, because the shit is too thin. I would have to work too hard to catch it and hold it. So I'm not doing that shit. Now, if you want, I could fuck around and put some yarn in that shit and put the box braids in, no problem. So I did that. Because you know, their hair is not like ours. Like, I could braid any Black woman's hair like this in a second, right? I know how to do all that shit. Because, you know, me, I'm old enough to come from the era where, as a little Black girl, my grandmother would sit on the floor and teach us how to braid each other's hair, cornrow, box braid, all that other. You ever seen like how you braid the hair introverted? They call it French braid or whatever. We learned to do that. We did twists. We did everything that she was taught as a child from the Black women that descended literally from the African women that taught them every hairstyle known to man, right? So I'm trying to tell this lady this, but this is part of the issue that they have when you see those sensational videos, because a lot of these women have contact with Black women you're not aware of through what I just explained, or they live vicariously through us, and they think that just because we do it, because they've been taught that they are allowed to do everything without any limitation, they soon find out. Believe me when I tell you, because their hair does come out. Like, even when they take the fucking braids out, their shit is shedding. Sometimes they got fucking bald spots in their head because their hair is not made for that shit. And it happens to all of them. Will they come on here and literally tell you? No, because they're gonna hide and try to pretend like, oh, we could do everything you do. It's not. It's nothing but a hairstyle. That's bullshit. If you literally could see, that's why you never see no videos with them taking their braids out. You ever notice that? All you ever see
I
is
noticed
videos.
that.
Yeah, all you ever see is them videos putting the shit in. But if you sat there and watched all that clump of hair and shit that's gonna be on the floor, by the time they take them braids out, you'll notice that you don't see a lot of them wearing them hairstyles as much as they do, because they're
No,
literally
like,
going fucking bald.
I did see a TikTok video, one video, and then she was just like taking the hair, and then she even took a brush. Girl was literally bald headed. I almost felt bad, but I was like, nah, you're not. But like, I kind of just say that because like the thing is with those sensationalized videos, I'm just thinking like, and then all these black women were like reacting to it. I'm just thinking like, we already know they're gonna make those videos regardless, and they're gonna say whatever and do whatever. But I'm like, why react to it? That's my thing. Like, why give so much attention? Is my thing.
I think it's two-part because I gotta stick up for the black women. It's like even me, I know
Mm-hmm.
better to react to things too. But when the shit gets under my skin, and I feel like, why are we always held to restraints that other women are not? Why are we always told that we can't speak our mind freely? We can't do the same dumb shit as many times as other people do. We always got to be told, no. So that's the reason why a lot of us will speak out regardless of us knowing this shit is redundant. You're not going to get anywhere with it. It's a waste of your time, but we're going to do it anyway because we feel like, and we do, have the right to voice our opinion and speak on shit that we know authentically belongs to us and that we literally are the talking head for that particular thing that you're trying to appropriate. That's the reason why we speak, and we have a right to speak because we're the originators of all this shit. People don't want to give us our credit because it's to their benefit and for them to prosper off of us feeling low and downtrodden about ourselves and living through this life as dysfunctional as we can so that we don't gain any wealth or gain any status or position to be able to change the outcome of future black children and black women. That's really what this is about. At the same time, simple short-term exploitation of stupid ass people like Jenny O making them videos, and yeah, I called it that because I don't like the shit she does. I personally have a problem with African women exploiting shit that is used to fuck with black American women. I do have a problem with that. Yes, I do. And for anybody who's offended, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to take that one. Because they do it all the time. And you never see black American women on any of these social medias going in on African women and, oh, this is something that is unique to them that they always do. And let's have white women critique it and fuck with them. You don't see us
Mm-hmm.
doing that. But you always see these silly motherfuckers doing that to us all the time. And then they sit there trying to do that mediocrity shit where it's like, oh, I'm black too. Yeah, only when you're in America and you could benefit from it. But if your ass is at home, you don't want to ever be fucking associated with a black American. So let's stop the bullshit, okay? If you want to make sensationalized videos, make them shits on somebody else. Leave us the fuck alone. Give it a timeout. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Jenny. I'm sorry. I'm talking too much.
No, you're good. You're good. Trust me. I don't mind. Like, I know, but I really do agree with you. Like, it's just disgusting with that. And you want to know something else? Something I found out recently.
What?
So, people are so obsessed with black women, especially on TikTok, to the point where, like, I saw this video on Instagram. Um, it was under She Is Wisdom _83, but there's also a video on TikTok. What did I say? Oh yeah, where this guy he was making an analysis, like a comparison and contrast between the hashtags. So let's say hashtag white women, that was like 92 million. The hashtag Mexican women was like 20 something million. Indian women was like 9 million. Asian women was like 30 something million. Chinese women was around 30 something million. And then when it came to the black women, in terms of like the views, like 30 million views, 20 million views, 9 million views. And then black woman, 1.2 billion views. I'm just over here like y'all put all this profit in trying to like put all this down chart and everything else, and then all to make black women the most relevant person on TikTok. And I'm thinking to myself, and all the black women under the comment section, they saw this stuff and they were like, "Oh my god, yeah!" And but most of it is us bashing whatever. So I'm just thinking, like, you see this, you see how fucking obsessed these people are to the point where now you're literally the most relevant person and you didn't even do anything,
And
and
that's
that
how
means
it's
you have a
going.
lot of power. And you have a lot of power.
The point you just made is something that I wish all black women would understand because you could control this whole shit, right?
Exactly.
I keep trying to tell them that you are the number one in everything. Even when motherfuckers are hating on you, you still the number one hated motherfucker, right? But black women are so relevant in this country and always have been because people are so fascinated with our physiques, our color, our hair, our personalities, our ingenuity, our innovation, creativity, everything about us. They're so fucking fascinated that anytime you're mentioned or anything happens with you, they're staring until they can't stop staring, right? Even when you walk down the street, I don't know if it's happened to you, but I can't walk nowhere without every fucking body in my face as I'm walking down the street. And I'm like, what the fuck are you staring at? Right? So if that's the case, if black women understand and could actually manipulate that control and that power, you could be the richest, most comfortable women in this fucking country. Because once you go somewhere and you start the fad, everybody will follow. So all you got to do now is own that shit that you start so that you can get money from it and usurp the power back from these people who are trying to keep it from you. And you can shut shit down like YouTube, TikTok, and whatever just by getting the fuck off of there. Or redirecting all your viewing and your commentary or whatever it is to one specific thing. Like if you want to start talking about, like you said, stop talking about the black males and all the degenerate shit they do towards us, and black women start talking about, hey, black women, this is how we can make money by doing this. This is how we could do this in our community by doing this. This is how we could change the outcome of our children's future by doing this. And all of us get on the same page, I can guarantee you, you would have women from other groups trying to come and join you do what the fuck you're doing too. Because wherever you go, these motherfuckers want to follow. Excuse me, I talk like this. I'm sorry if I'm insulting you with the cussing.
Oh no, you're good.
Sorry. But anything we do, they follow. Like if I could guarantee you, when black women come out this summer and they start rocking their individual style and being beautiful this summer, you're gonna see that everywhere. You're gonna see that on commercials. You're gonna see that on magazines, TikTok videos. Like you know how you have the beautiful black women do the luxury thing, and you see the black women looking fucking fabulous all over the place. Just wait and see. Whatever sisters go out here and rock themselves, you're gonna see somebody taking a picture of them when they're not looking, and you're gonna see that become the new thing. Oh, how the black woman is wearing her hair, or how she did her makeup, or how she put her shorts on, or how she put her dress on, her shirt, her da-da-da-da-da-da. This is what they do. Even down to the fucking tattoos you put on your skin. Anything you do, they emulate. Like, oh, look at, I must follow the leader. So if you notice, we could change this whole shit around as soon as we change the way we think collectively about each other. And then all we do is sit back and let them all come into the trap that we set for them, so we're set up to live good. You understand what I mean? Like if we come up with catchphrases or whatever it is we do, the same way that white man patent or trademarked or whatever it's called. I don't know the terminologies of those definitions of those terminologies, but the same way he did that shit with the term passport bros. Now we're good at doing shit like that, coming up with little slick ways to say stuff or whatever. If we, before we start putting it out there into the society, do whatever we do to own that, right? Whatever it takes. And then as people start using that on videos, using that in whatever they do every day where it's in the media, you get paid for that. And you're able now to sue people for using what the fuck you created. Use them the way that they use you. That's the way black women really got to start thinking. If we know there's Bantu knots or whatever it is that we do they like, own that shit. So that when you see that in magazines, they got to pay you to put that shit in there. You understand what I'm saying, right,
Yes,
Jay?
I
Like,
know exactly what you mean.
you have to be just like the white people when it comes to owning shit and having motherfuckers pay you to use stuff that is really universal for everybody. But because now you own it, they got to deal with you. Black women are women that set the trends all over the world. So why don't you start getting paid for the shit that you put out here? That's how I feel about it.
Exactly. And that's no, you're 100% correct. Because I was thinking that. Because I'm over here thinking to myself, one point to billion with a B, billion views. And how many black women got that money? How many of y'all actually
None.
got paid for those views? Do you know how
None.
much? Do you know what 1.2 billion, what the money for 1.2 billion views can do for us? And then I'm just over here like, y'all see this power? Y'all see just how phenomenal you are without even trying? Why the fuck are y'all out here trying to like make everybody else relevant, make money off of you? God damn! And I just wanted to yell on the screen. I wanted to yell so bad, but I was like, bro, I'm yelling on the screen, just like I'm yelling on the screen right now. But like,
Yeah, no, but you got it's the joyful emotion. Don't worry about it, because here's another thing, Jay. There's so many black women techies out here, right? Now I'm
mm,
still struggling to learn how to do an app correctly, efficiently, right? There's black women out here that can make apps and run circles around my skills, right? Why hasn't a black woman or a group of black women come out with a black women's app only? You know how many fucking black women it is in this world? We outnumber
mm-hmm,
all women, right? When it comes to
mm-hmm,
like us geographically, wherever we come from.
mm,
If you had an app just for us where black women could have shareholders in that app, right? Meaning it was publicly traded for black women, right? And black
mm-hmm,
women utilize this app for everything we need in our communities. That would help all of us, because in addition to our contribution to the app, we would be getting like somewhat of a dividend back, a payment every month for however much money the app made. And once black women are covered, then you could slowly start introducing Hispanic women, because Hispanic women need a leg up. They need help too. They need help just like black women do. So once we get ourselves covered, then you could slowly find a small segment for them so they could get a little money to help them live life better. You understand what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Asian women and white women, they don't need help like that. Now, if you're going to have a slot for Asian women, it has to be for the older Asian women that are left out in the cold, that are really struggling out here. Like, I don't know if y'all know that. Like, I know in New York City, there are tons of old Asian women that are homeless, struggling to live. It's fucked up. Okay. So I'm just putting this out here so that if black women really want to get that shit together and really stand for other black women, there's nothing stopping us. There's nothing but opportunity and space.
mm-hmm. And that's what frustrates me about all of this. Like,
Mhm.
you see it, you see the potential, you see where this is going, and you can see just how this whole world will respond and how this will better all of us, black women, black girls, older black women, everyone. And I'm just like, y'all are getting in your own way, worrying about these irrelevant fucks, bro.
Well, you
Yeah,
you as a
that's
young
what just
person,
bothers me
right?
so much. How do y'all not see it?
You as a young person,
Mm-hmm.
you and your fellow, you know, peers, y'all need to start thinking about and shopping those ideas to other women and young girls for what we could come up with, where black women could start coming together to do what I was talking about, to make a little money specifically for us that we could share amongst each other. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna separate the bullshitters from the doers. Because
Mm-hmm.
people who know that they're not gonna be able to take control of the whole thing or take advantage of it, they're not gonna want to fuck with you. Only people who are going to be like-minded about community and willing to share, because that's the way the system would be set up for everybody to get an equal share. No top dogs over here, right? People who
Mm-hmm.
are only willing to do the right thing are going to come. People that's looking to take advantage, there will be no way for them to rig the system. And that's the only way you're going to be able to make change. Like, and I really don't understand why some black women somewhere hasn't already thought about this and begun to
Mm-hmm.
do it, because it would be the most advantageous thing for us. Like, and you could do it for every community. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you like the same way we do this social media shit where we want to be nosy and see what's going on, you could have it be specific to certain black communities. Have one specific for New York, one for New Jersey, the West Coast, down south, wherever, and have it hit specifically to the things those black women are dealing with daily. How could you not be involved with that if you really want to improve what is going on? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
there's so many ways for us to attack it and do it positively to make change for each other while we actually giving back to each other. But these women got to start taking the first step, and the first step is to center yourself and stop worrying about everybody else.
Exactly, because at this point, literally at this point, almost everything on social media, YouTube, Twitter. I don't call it Twitter like that, but still, Twitter, YouTube, Twitter, um, Instagram to a certain degree, with Instagram, TikTok, definitely, almost everything related to Black women on those apps. It's always about somebody else. Every single time, it got to a point where I had to get off of TikTok in the first place. 'Cause I'm like, this is hashtag Black Girl TikTok. Yeah, but Black girls are talking about everybody else. You're responding to this person saying something about you. You're responding to that person saying something. You're talking about this. You're talking about that. Oh, white women are like this. White women are like, girl, we already know these women are like whatever. Like, who cares? They're irrelevant. POC women and these women and that, these women
No.
and these. I'm like, nobody cares. Girl, I
You know
understand
how
what you're
we
trying to do, but.
you know how we can start it? I was just thinking about it when you was talking, when you said that.
Mm-hmm,
Let's say if you take you
mm-hmm,
start a YouTube page, right? And you start talking about things that affect a certain group of age frame of women, right? Let's
mm-hmm.
say 18 to 27, just make it up, right?
Yeah.
And then you start talking about things that really affect them every day. And then you explain to them, when you join this page, you have a month to open up your own page. And you're going to pick a particular segment of interest that affects the future of making life better for Black women. And that's what your page is going to be about, right?
Mm-hmm,
It's like a pie, and slicing the pie up and giving people assignments, right? And then that person, like a pyramid or like branching out mathematically in a real matrix, right?
mm-hmm,
Everybody will have an extension to another person to pour into what they're doing, so that not only does the one content creator make money, but the people who come next in the chain of whatever it is we're covering that deals with Black women, so that everybody that watches, this person is making money, and then the next person that comes from them, they make money, to the point where you have a whole segment of nothing but issues and people representing the needs of Black women, not fucking relationships,
mm-hmm.
none of that dumb shit, but everything that affects Black women and children. And you could do that yourself and have like a small segment on all these social media platforms if we don't have our own just yet. And then you could begin to dominate, pull the people from the bullshit that they're attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to stand firm. Like, if a person is fucking up and they're going off track, you're gonna have to ban them, banish them, whatever the case may be. Get somebody to immediately replace them, to let people know, yeah, this is a no nonsense fucking situation. If you coming with bullshit, you trying to derail or trying to cause problems, you're gonna be eliminated immediately. And that's something that all of us could do without anybody's permission, and just, you know, stop being selfish in the sense of like, if you're some big so-called YouTuber on here, oh, I don't want anybody to share my shine or my money. That's the dumb way of thinking, because eventually you're going to fade out any fucking way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
you want to stay relevant forever as being like the so-called godmother of all the people that you're bringing on, putting on, and helping Black women. If we started doing that now, because you could do that in the very next instant, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you and me or anybody else. This is how we change and how we improve and look out for one another. And believe me, Jay, once we started doing that on any particular platform we started on, it would take off the same way it did like on TikTok and others, when Black women started only talking about things that affected Black women. And we need to start pushing that message if we want things to change. Otherwise, somebody needs to turn that car off. Otherwise, thank you. Otherwise, it's gonna be a continuation of nonsensical talk with worrying about men and what they're doing, and how they're not doing it, to get in relationships with them, to be married, have children, have not. No, come on, we could do that in a more constructive way, where if women are having a problem with determining what they want to do with their bodies, whether or not they want to have children, how to do it safely, all of the medical alternatives, everything available to you, that's how you should approach that conversation. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Because right
Yeah.
now, Go ahead, babe.
Because I was actually, because what you're talking about, I was already kind of like thinking about this before. Because I remember, like I said before, a lot of the problems that I had growing up was really just our image being so bad. So one time I just thought to myself, you know, black women have the way to like can definitely change our image. I know it seems like we can't, but we definitely can, and you just have to
Yep.
think about it from way. Because I was thinking, this is a business idea to anybody. So if if you guys hear this, you can do it too. Because of course we're sharing out here, the more the merrier. I was thinking like it'll be like, let's say me. I was like, you know what? I don't like our image. I don't like the way we're being portrayed. So instead, let me try to like kind of like, let's say, get save up some money and start and create like a company. Like maybe it'll be like a small company start off because not that much money. It'll be like title it something like, oh, the Black Women's exhibit or keeper exhibit. Let's say it's called an exhibit, something like that, right? And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, so this is all the portraits and images that we have of Black women, and we're gonna celebrate the accomplishments of this person and that person, and we're gonna have this person come over and just speak to, like, make it first start off with like a whole community thing, like just say, hey, this is who we are. This is a person who is very famous and very well known. She's gonna talk to you guys about this, that, and the third, and make it like a whole media thing company where it starts out community, but then eventually, as you get more money from donations, we can also like somehow create jobs for them. So let's say we decide to create like a magazine, and it'd be like, oh hey, if you are someone who's studying journalism or writing or just likes to write or something like that, or photographer, you could come over, and if you have a job here where you get paid from the money, that we'll try to figure out how that could come in, and then they'll be like, oh hi, I'd be interested. I'm like, okay, so this is what we're doing and stuff like that, and then create more publications that's really good and stuff, and next year there will be more people who are interested in joining to sign up, and if we have space we can make the space, or if we're not able to, we'll create that space somehow, and basically create more and more and more come in and really push it out through the media, through social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, stuff like that. But like, hey, this is where celebrating accomplishment. She's gonna give you some ideas on what we can do to like better yourself and how you can be in this position and stuff. And we will like try to like show like all different types of black women who are like in healthcare, black women who are like technology. Maybe even talk about fashion a little bit, like fashion, like, oh, I want to look more tomboyish, or I want to look girly, or maybe look more luxurious or something like that. And basically kind of like
Mm-hmm.
bring more and more in and more positions and jobs. Like you're getting paid to basically like kind of like celebrate and give a contribution about black women. Because the thing is with black women, we do want some positivity about ourselves, and we want to, and let's be fair, we want to be celebrated by other black women too. As much as we try to like act like we don't, but we really do. That hits better than anything that a male or some black person can ever say about it. It's just positivity from another black woman, and it feels good. You know what I mean? And just bring them in and just distribute it to them, and distribute somehow like online, and basically create this whole franchise
Network.
of, yeah,
Net.
just
Mm-hmm.
create that whole media company where we can like, and next thing you know, when you see all these black women, because remember, we're the ones who are like the trendsetters and everything, if we put all our focus into that company that's promoting us into a positive light and saying, celebrating us and our accomplishments and our beauty, our hair, our skin, everything, the whole narrative about us will shift automatically and be like, wait a minute, why are we talking shit about these women when they're just trying to live their best lives and trying to feel beautiful about themselves and everything, and all these males, y'all, these males are trash. Like, what the hell's wrong with you, you freaking males, whatever, and stuff like that. Like, it'll be like a whole network thinking, and we can build it up. Next thing you know, we're good. I thought about that before, but I was like,
Well,
ah.
listen. Let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
Are you intending to attend the Black Women's March in October in California?
Oh, I unfortunately I won't be able to because that'll be during my semester. Yeah.
Okay, I hear you. All right. So what you can do is I mean, there's several ways you could begin that for free. Like there's public broadcasting in every city, right? You just have to find
Mhm.
out if it's actually affordable to you. And if not, you could just start a channel like that on YouTube, and then try to write to people and explain to them what put your business plan together, explain to them what it is you're trying to do, and give it to them in like a introduction, so that they get it that this is for free, this is for motivation, this is for change, whatever it is you're trying to do to improve the image, whatever, awareness, whatever it is. And you just say to them, I'm just looking for a couple of minutes of your time, da da da, to expose black women to something they weren't aware of existed. And you'd be surprised. the amount of women that will say, okay, and either put together a video for you that you can include in your channel or whatever. A lot of them don't really, if they're real busy, I'm gonna be honest with you, Jay, they don't have the time to play on Zoom calls. They got work to do, they got
Mm-hmm.
deadlines to meet, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when you shop it to them, right, and you pitch it to them, make sure that it's some shit that they could do like in 5, 10 minutes. That's it, tops, right? If they
Mm-hmm.
have a business, they trying to promote the business. Give me your whatever it is, brochure, whatever. Give me like a 1 to 3 minute pitch about whatever it is you do, and put mad clips together, and then that could be your channel. And then you and your little your I'm excuse sorry, I'm an old woman, so I say things that are sometimes offensive when I don't intend it to be. You and your friends, right, or other people you know, they can incorporate too. And then, like I said, just keep expanding from there. And that's how we begin the grassroots level of changing all this stuff and doing what you said. And then look to like the Small Business Administration wherever you live, Jay, and get one of those mentors. They're free. This is what the government does for women, and they call it minority business administration, something like that. You know? You go look that up, and they'll actually give you a person to literally walk you through the process of creating whatever you want when you're talking about that business, you know. And then
Mm-hmm.
when you have these type of events, you could create it yourself on Eventbrite or attend it where other Black women will be, and then you just pass out your flyers and your cards and stuff, and whoever's real is going to contact you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you know what's her name, Spiritual Wisdom or whatever, I think that's her name?
Spiritual whistleblower.
Yeah, she was at, I met her. She was at the last Black Femicide March with Rosa and all of them. She was
Mm-hmm.
there, and she became a. I didn't know who she was until she spoke. She gave out all her information and stuff. She talked about what she did. She became very popular from that, Black Femicide March. Because when I came back, I had talked about her on my channel, shared her everywhere. I have all those things too, but I don't. I'm like you. I don't really be on them. Like I don't really care about TikTok, and Twitter and Instagram. I have that shit, but I don't really be on there. But with
Mm-hmm.
people I think is important, I splash that lady all over those things, and I would do it like every month. Put her on there, something she's talking about, just so that she could get the exposure and people go over to her because she's doing more talking than I'm doing, and she's positive. So why not? So you know what I mean? That could be you too. Somebody and me could do the same thing for you and whatever you come up with. But it's the thing, like we have to start actually caring about each other and doing those things for each other instead of just sitting back and going, man, that's a damn shame. They shouldn't be doing that. When it don't take but a few minutes for all of us to either say something, put something together, and then let another person go ahead, splice it, edit it, whatever, and put it all up for everybody. You know?
Yeah, I
What's
know exactly.
So don't, you know what I mean, Jay? Don't give up. Take your time with it. You don't got to put it out there tomorrow. Take your time with it. Get other young Black women involved because y'all are our future. And when you guys' head is on straight and you know what you're supposed to do and you got all that love and self-worth going on, our future is bright as fuck. We don't even, us old women, we don't even have to work that hard no more because we know y'all got it. We done passed the torch the way we supposed to. And
Mm-hmm.
y'all are here to make sure that we could, fade out of this life happy and living fulfilled as much as we can because y'all making it possible for us to do that. The same way when we're living and y'all are growing, we supposed to be doing that for y'all. You see what I mean? So I mean, if I just really wish more Black women was thinking the way you're speaking and actually doing the work so that the hell with whether we trying to change everything immediately on YouTube, but we change the stuff that happens in our everyday lives, which to me is way more important. Like I'd rather see Black women being gainfully employed, having the food they need to have in their refrigerator, being able to have the appropriate child care. What else is it? Everything they need. If they need a car, have a car, whatever it is they need to make their life that much comfortable and versatile so they could get out here and do whatever it is that they dreamed of doing. I would want that for them. That's what I want. Right, Jay, I'm burnt out. You could keep on talking.
Yeah. I wish for that too. I really do. And my focus really now here, I'm gonna I don't want you to take offense to this really, but this is something I'm kind of like noticing, even as myself, as a 22-year-old. Yeah, the younger girls, especially around my age and younger, they are our future. But I do think that because things I do listen to you a lot and such, but I do think to myself like, well, imagine you're saying all of this, but you're, a younger girl. Like, let's say you're like about 20, 22 or something like that, and you're preaching to young black girls saying this, that, a third. I realize that I think the message would be a lot more, I guess, more receptive if it was younger girls. Because I really think about the reason why girls like, oh, wait, well, women like Cynthia G, uh, Paris and Christy, especially Paris. I'm really thinking to myself, like, why is it that they're more receptive to them, even when they know what they're saying is kind of like straight up BS? And I realize I think it has something to do with the proximity to age, if you really think about it. Because
It
I
does.
knew, because I'm just
You know what
thinking, like,
else?
yeah.
Let me bust in. It's fucked up, but what you're saying is true. Is because there's a culture in Black people that has been going on for a long time, where it is that conquer and divide, separate and divide, where they have taught young Black women not to listen to older Black women because they run around stereotyping us like we're all fucked up. We all hate you. We're all jealous. We want to be young when we don't. And this goes back to the thing we talked about earlier in the beginning. Like, this is the patriarchy and the indoctrination of taking away the value of women. Now, regardless of the proximity to age, let's be real clear and real true right here. You ain't gonna learn shit from Paris. You ain't gonna learn shit from Cynthia that is gonna be worth their salt in an older woman that is actually telling you the absolute truth, not fucking around with you, not looking to gain something for herself and exploit you. She's going to tell you way more stuff that's going to be way more beneficial to you, informational and etc. because she's outlived both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? She has so much more life experience. And when she's actually on your side, she will show you and teach you how to see when a motherfucker like them is actually out here and really for self trying to redirect you to bullshit to cause you nothing but obstacles in your life. That if you actually have the sharp enough eye to see this shit coming, you could duck, get around her, avoid her completely, and go where you need to go, where you have a much smoother path. But I do understand what you're saying because I have the same issue with my own daughters. Like, I have a lot of daughters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have four to be exact. So two of them are like mama's girls. Nobody in this world could tell them shit. They will say, Mommy, I got this problem. What do I do? They will listen to me completely because they know when they watch their other sisters and they don't listen to the shit I tell them, shit falls apart. They're in trouble. Jay, I got to get up out of my bed in the middle of the night. I'm about to say something I was going to get in trouble with on the live, but I got to get in my car, be ready to deal with grown men, be ready to get ready to go to jail for the rest of my life because I'm not going to let nobody hurt my baby. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I got to get up and deal with that, or I got to come out my pocket and take care of the fact that she screwed up money and now I gotta replace money that she has fucked up dealing with this asshole that I done told her if you keep dealing with this dude, you're gonna live a dog's life. This dude is no good. This is the shit I deal with every day, Jay, in my real life. I'm like everybody else. I got two daughters that's doing the shit right, and two daughters that I gotta keep my foot up their ass in order for them not to end up on the black femicide list. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I get what you're saying. But with those two girls, I cannot tell them shit. They listen to their dumbass friends. They listen to all this stupid shit on YouTube. And I'm sitting here going, what is wrong with y'all? Do you not think that I know what the fuck I'm talking about? Have I ever had you in a situation where you're scared for your life in your own home? You got some nigga in here beating your ass or digging in your ass? You have never lived like that. Why would you not think that I don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking to you just because I'm not 2 years older than you? What the fuck is wrong with you? I deal with this in my everyday life. So I do understand what you're talking about. But young black women are gonna have to get past that stupid shit. Because a motherfucker is relatable, even in close proximity to your own age group, does not mean that they're a motherfucker you need to be listening to. You need to stop, get out of that mindset of thinking that how I hear them talking about their mothers and shit on YouTube every day, how horrible they were. Every black mother is not like that, and y'all fucking know it. But you are out here trying to create a new stereotype of how dysfunctional the black mother is when you know when you did all over this country. It's a small percentage of black women that live that ghetto, gutter snipe life where they got all that type of shit going on in their house. Their kids are being totally disgustingly treated, murdered. You know that's a small percentage. That is not the majority of us. The majority of us have communication problems. Not that their parents are allowing like the most egregious shit in the world to happen to them. They're lying through their fucking teeth when they say that. Me being a person who was raised partially by two functional junkies because my father had gone to Vietnam and came back addicted to heroin, and then he put my mother on it, right? Even with those people being addicted to narcotics, they still came from a family structure and a mentality where they knew we got to pay bills to make sure we have a place to live. We got to have food in the refrigerator. We got to have money if we want to get high. If we high and we irresponsible, we got to pay for people to watch our kids so we can nod off in the fucking bedroom while our children are being properly attended to. There are black people like that out here in our communities. Everybody is not a cookie cutter of the next worst case scenario. But this is the shit that black women are doing on here to other black women. And we know this not to be true. Everybody's situation is unique to their own. So this is part of the problem. And unfortunately, Jay, until young black women realize that it's not a click thing where you need to be giving this false loyalty to women just because they're close to your age, you're going to continue to have problems. And you're going to continue to have issues like no other groups of black women before you had, because you know what made the difference between my generation and yours? We understood that whether we liked a black woman or not that was older than us, we understood that people are not perfect. We could watch an alcoholic fuck her life up, but if she gives us concrete guidance or even like how they say advice, and she actually knows what she's talking about, we didn't believe in that shit y'all believe in, where how can you tell me shit when you ain't got shit? We know people are way more complicated than that. And we also had a respect for our elders because we knew that they already lived through the shit we went through. Like me, I listened to my grandmother even though I didn't listen to my mother. I'm being honest with you, right? Because I looked at my mother in shame, and I had shame when it came to my mother, right? But I learned to understand my mother because there was a reason why she was fucked up. And so I didn't hold that against her. But I didn't model myself after her, and I did not do the things she did in life to be fucked up. And so that's what y'all are missing in this generation. You're thinking that, well, I'm gonna talk personally from what I see in my life with the girls you know, deal with my daughters. They think that because they could fuck, they can have children, and they live with men that are taking advantage of them, nobody could tell them anything because they know it all. But if you actually knew it all, you would not be in a position to have yourself being taken advantage of by a male who is really older than you, that's running circles around your ignorance. That's what I keep trying to tell them every day. But I'm like y'all too. I'm just because I'm on here with a channel doesn't mean I'm exempt from black living and black life and black community. It happens to me too, right? And I have two daughters that just do not listen to me. And one of my sons had told me, leave them the fuck alone. Let them fuck up, because they're not gonna understand nothing until they're completely fucked up. And I'm starting to believe he's right. Because no matter what I do to try to save these girls, they keep listening to people like what you said earlier, Paris, other women on here that are young talking bullshit, their friends, people they associate with in school, at work, who, and believe me, these people have absolutely nothing. When I tell you nothing, I went the other day to go get one of my daughters because her car got fucked up, and I'm like, well, where are you at? Why? Anyway, child, oh my God, my head could pop off for all the bullshit that I have to deal with those two. But anyway, I go pick this crazy girl up. She's in somebody's apartment where they're in an apartment, but they don't got no fucking furniture in their apartment, no food, children running around looking like nobody give a goddamn about them. And I'm looking at this girl like, you over here with these people for what? Why are you here with these people? What is wrong with you? What are you doing with these people? These people could barely put things together. And this is what you think is company you should keep? That's the type of stuff I'm talking about, Jay. Once we get past all that shit, we'll be way better for it. But it is the climate. It's all the things that go on subliminally and subtly that penetrate young women's minds to make them think that, I don't know what the hell they're making them think, but they're not thinking properly. And they're falling prey to dysfunctionalism, poverty, and basically living lives that are so risky that they might not even survive the next day. There's no reason for that. But that comes out of blind leading the blind, if you get what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Which is why you have that everybody listening to the young ones who don't know what are they talking about.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was one of those young girls who believed that everything my mom done was like messed up. Like she was like an evil person. She was just this, that. She was out to get me. She hates me. As you know, and I realized, yeah, as I older, I realized, yeah, it is a communication problem. But what the thing is that when it comes to Black mothers, really, like as much as people want to like act like they're just the biggest villains in the world, understand that many of them truly do love their children. As much as messed up as they are, they really do love their children, want the best. And I just don't. I think the problem really is that like you said, like they grew up in a particular environment, particular situations, and like for example, with my mom, like she basically grew up an orphan. Like her grandparents took care of her. She was like one of like she had like 11 aunts and uncles. Yeah, so she grew up around them. Her mom just abandoned her because she was like, you know what, I can't do this, I'm too young. And she was like 20 years old. My grandmother at the time was about 20. And then the grandfather, who I never met, he I don't know, like he was an older man, but she said he was my grandmother's teacher. And they said like, I don't know, maybe he raped, essayed her or something. No one really knows. My grandmother will never talk about it. Is what it is. But he died like a few years back. Basically she grew up an orphan. She always called her grandmother mom and her grandfather dad, but people were always constantly reminding her, no, they're not your parents, they're your grandparents. And then, you know, she was basically like the only person, and she grew up in like a small town, and she was like the only person, like the only child in that community that didn't have parents. Everybody else had a parent, maybe a one mom or two dad, but they had somebody. But she only had her grandparents, and that really like messed her up a lot. And then when she finally got in contact with my grandmother, initially my grandmother treated her like crap. She's like, I hate you, you're the worst that's ever happened to me, stuff like that. And that messed her up a lot, to the point where she suffered from depression since like up until today, basically. And yeah, and then she had like other siblings that she met when she was like 19. And she was happy because, you know, she got to see her siblings, that she didn't want it. I guess really with her, I realized that she just has abandonment issues. Like she just doesn't want to be around. She wants to always be around certain people, and even people that she knows very well, so toxic around. Like I literally had to talk to her like, Mom, why are you around this uncle? You know he did you dirty and he does you wrong. He treats you like crap, but you still want to forgive him, bring it back. And she was like, well, you know, family and stuff. I was just like, oh my God. And even with my own father that she had, which the divorce, he treated her badly. And then this new guy that she has with her husband, from another country, he's a non-black guy. So anybody who's out here saying, "Oh, non-black males are so," no, they're just as dusty. So that's the message I have to give out to all y'all about that. Um, he's nicer to her, but the thing is, he doesn't help her financially or anything, and she makes up every excuse about it. And she's always stressed out about him, but she's like, I just have to, he's a yeah, but he could change, he could do better, like she just doesn't want to be by herself is the problem. And she's so
Yep.
very uncomfortable by herself. Because of that, she's willing to like make all sorts of like decisions that are poor, or maybe she'll communicate things to me and it just be like it almost feels like as though she's always like um being allowed people to beat her down. And because of that, and the way that she kind of like interacted with me when she was older, I mean when I was growing up, for that reason, I was able to kind of like be more compassionate to her when I really put everything in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I like I said, like I know they're not perfect. Black women are not perfect, but they really do love their children despite all the bullshit and everything else. And like you said, I do wish that a lot more younger girls, even like remember this whole thing with Yadi where she was like out here talking about black mothers and said, oh, they're this, that. I'm like,
Jay,
let's just put
Yanni is
context.
the biggest asshole out here. Like, she continuously creates division between older women and black women because she has issues of her own. You can hear it when
Yeah.
she, and you could tell no matter how much bullshit she talks, she doesn't have a good relationship with her parents, and that's her fucking.
Hmm.
But
Like,
what you were talking about, what was going on with your mom and the grandmother, that's the abandonment issues and another psychological thing called a sense of belonging, right? Which is why
mm,
when I tell black women, and I'm not trying to act like I'm smarter than everybody and scold y'all, but if you knew more about psychology and how traumatic things affect people and then the consequences of it, why they act the way they do the things they do, you would have more understanding, empathy, and sympathy for them. And then the communication would be much different. Like,
hmm,
you are very wise because you're actually taking the time to think about all the contributing factors that made these people turn out to be who they are. Nobody just wakes up one day and go, you know what? I want to be an extremely fucked up person. And I'm going to go
hmm,
out of my way to do that shit starting right now. And every day I'm going to get more fucked up as time goes. Nobody does that.
hmm,
Everything is about, what do you call it? Cause and effect.
hmm,
So these, when you hear these young girls speaking, they come on here, and it's funny to me because everybody's trying to be politically correct. They all have like the same way they speak, present themselves. It's like a fucking performance, and it's like,
hmm,
and I'm just looking at them like the world doesn't give a fuck about any of this. And what you're teaching and showing to other young women is more of a hindrance because it's crazy what I'm about to say, but you need to be rough. You need to be able to see through the bullshit, be able to compartmentalize everything you got to do in this life. Be soft when you got to be soft. Put your foot completely in somebody's ass when you got to. Stand up and yell at the top of your lungs when you have to. Be as quiet as you have to when you need to. That fucking mask that they put on, where they put on a wig, a whole bunch of fucking makeup, and a deep plunging cleavage shirt, and sit up there with some water and shit and start talking softly and don't cuss and want to be very careful about what they say, doesn't make you a fucking grown up. It
hmm.
doesn't. Like, when you are able to tell people how to deal with shit that is a fucking crisis in their life, and you can walk them through that shit, and they come out on the other side and go, thank you for that. That's a fucking grown up. When you
Mhm.
don't know how to do that, you're wasting people's fucking time because you're building and creating more walls between people instead of tearing that shit down, where people can sit down across from one another and go, listen, this is my problem with you. Let me talk. Let me get all my shit off my chest. And then I'm going to sit here like a fucking adult or a person with a welcoming, open mind. And I'm going to let you get your shit off. And then we're going to try to work this out. That is not being taught in our community. What's being taught in our community is us versus them mentality. Oh, we're young. Old women are just, they're fucking, they're this, they're that, they're jealous, they don't know what they're talking, they're haters. No, we're not. We actually still give a fuck because we're trying to reach back and talk to you. If we were really the way you're trying to make us out to be, these stereotypes that we all supposedly falsely claim we don't like to see about black women, but yet we engage in it all the time. If we weren't really doing this shit and we were the way you claim that we are, we would not even be on here giving a hell about what happens to you. We'd be sitting back laughing. We be sitting
Mm-hmm.
back laughing, going, look at this stupid motherfucker. Look. That's what a hater does. A hater
Yeah.
doesn't come on here and like try to give you information about things to help you improve. A hater does not come and chastise you because they know long term or further down the road, if you keep fucking around with this, you're gonna be so screwed up in life. There's gonna be almost no rebounding from that shit. We're frustrated because we see the shit coming. And we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to tell you, look, please don't do this. Please listen to me. Please listen to me. And all y'all do is get the fuck out of my face. You don't know what you're talking about, old bitch. Go sit down somewhere. And we going, really? Really? We're fucking 3, 4 times your age. There's nothing we haven't seen in this life that we cannot walk you through. But you don't give us the chance because our asses are not tight enough, our titties ain't perky enough, and our skin may be sagging. We got wrinkles and gray hair. You don't think your ass is gonna be there one day too? It's unbelievable to me. Sometimes it's very frustrating to me, Jay, because I look at all the promise in black women being flushed down the toilet because they're being directed by a bunch of fucking idiots. It's really how I feel. Like they should be on here telling black women, get out of your neighborhood, get into college, travel abroad, go become a Rhodes Scholar, go live in Europe, go to school in Europe, go to Africa, go to Asia, go live, girl, go live your life, go see shit that your mothers and grandmothers have never seen. Go have a pulse in your body. Get up, be courageous, don't be afraid of shit. Get out there. This world is for you. Be safe now, but travel. Don't let nobody hold you down. Don't believe that your value comes from shaking your ass and getting fake titties and all this other stuff so a nigga could give you a few dollars. That's not what your life is for. Girl, you're supposed to be out here really living, experiencing everything this wonderful world has to offer. Jay, you said you love the channel shows. You love those things to see the black women travel. That's what I'm talking about. How you gonna do that, Jay? When you got all this burden on you, worrying about how you feel about this person trying to tell you something that might be right for you, or whether this person's hating on you and trying to make things hard. That's too much of a burden, Jay. That's too much of a burden. You're too young for that. You're supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be happy, carefree, and know that when people are telling you, Jay, that's hot, don't touch that. You're going to get burned. You say, okay, I got you. I don't want to get burned. I'm going to go over here. And it's that simple. But if I'm telling you, Jay, that's hot, you might want to get burned and put your hand on that shit, hold it there for a long time. You have sense enough to know, what the hell are you telling me? That's some bullshit. And I'm going to move away from you. That's really how it should be, you know? But
Yeah.
because you have all these infiltrators trying to always give all these mixed messages and constant chaos, black women going in circles, both young and old. Like, what we trying to do here?
Yeah.
And they don't care about black women the way that they say they do. They really don't. Because
I've,
if they did, they'd be on here trying to ask you, what is it I could do for you today? How can I
mhm.
help? How can I help? You never hear them say that shit. They always coming from a level up here as if they Moses on the mountain trying to teach you some shit they don't even know what they know talking about. It's so crazy. Ugh. Yeah.
Honestly,
Hmm.
I, I really don't know what's wrong with these women. I really don't. But what I have learned really from that whole thing is that, like, I really, like, to be honest with you, I really, like, grow to be a little bit more compassionate to black women and girls. Well, black women particularly. Like, I really do. especially after that whole thing with RWS and how she was explaining about her life. And I'm just thinking, like, you know, like, why can't we allow ourselves to be just as complex as she is? Like, as all of us are. Like you said before, we're very complex human beings. We're very complex. We have all these experiences that that's
Jay,
going
you
on with
know something about
some.
her? Do you want to
Mm-hmm.
know something about RWS hashtag exposed? Do you know
Mm-hmm.
how much fucking knowledge that woman has in that little body of hers?
Mm.
When you hear her speak, she's pulling history, she's pulling current events, she's pulling life experience. She's not a fucking stupid woman. She's not
Mm.
stupid at all. When I listen to her, I'm like, how the fuck she know that? I don't expect her to know half of the shit she knows, because she really is intelligent. And
Mm.
because she has so much intelligence, you will notice, like, with people like that throughout all the different periods of time, they are people that are really high strung, like very frustrated, very emotional when they speak. Not that they can't control themselves, because that's not the point. It's the passion in what they're trying to get across to you, because they know the shit is so fucking important. You understand what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? That woman has that. She has that. She talks about dealing with racial disparities all the time, how they personally affect her family, things that are happening to black women every day. And she analyzes it in a way where she uses all that knowledge to simplify it to the point where you go, oh shit, yeah, I never looked at it like that. Oh yeah, 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 I see. And she gives you the reasons why. She says what she says, why people were doing the things, and she also has predicted so many fucking things that have literally come true. Like, literally. When I'm talking about what has happened on YouTube and other social medias, and how she talks about the propaganda and what society does when they go to attack black women, she's been on point every single time.
Mm.
Starting from, like, I'm serious, like, starting from, remember when that comedian was flipping out over the ad with the black woman and the white dude?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? And she
Yeah.
talked about how, yeah, you're gonna see a lot of this changing and starting to be all over the place, because white people, and she's right, they study us. They study what we do. They're on YouTube every day listening to our videos to see how they could manipulate us, how they could gain from our dysfunction. She talks about that stuff all the time, and people like downplay her and are very disrespectful from time to time. But she's actually taking her time to inform people because she's aware of what's going on. It's not enough of her and too many of the people like Yanni and Paris and the rest of them. It's too much of that, because you need people to open your eyes so that you could be like Malcolm when he said, once you wake up, you're never going to be able to go back to sleep. But when you're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with women where their main focus is worrying about how they look, competing with other women, telling other women what their value is and what their value is not, and worrying about what a man's perspective is, and always worrying about including men, you gonna always have problems. You're never gonna have anybody that's gonna be really about progression of black women. It's just crazy. And you laugh because you know that what I'm saying is true. Every damn live is the same fucking way with them. Like, I'm like, do they ever have lives where they just concentrate solely on black women without ever talking about how black women can never do it themselves without incorporating a Dusty? Like, what's wrong with these women?
Yes, I was even thinking about this. I don't remember which comment section I left this under. I said, I think it was yours. I said that what I noticed with a lot of black women on media, they like to attach their whole identity, who they are, towards the people around them. So let's say, oh, like, let's say she's around black males, she'll be like, oh, well, the community, the community. Next thing you know, she's around a bunch of white people. All of a sudden, and from that community, it's like, oh, you guys do this, that, oh yeah, you have a special one, oh yeah, something like that. Or if it's about another, I don't know, what other group, I don't know, just
They
like that,
just
stuff like that. It's
chameleons,
just,
and a bunch of
yeah,
chameleons. Yeah.
that whole
Hmm.
chameleon effect. I'm just like, are you guys not noticing that you literally are changing who you are based off of who you are aligning yourself with? Like, even with this whole divester stuff,
all of a sudden it's weak. You guys, like 5 years ago, black women were all about, oh, black love, black love, black love, black love. All of a sudden, next thing you know, you say, oh, I'm gonna divest the white guys. Next thing you know, oh, the black community is ish, that, and third. Oh, black males, oh, black women, y'all are degenerate, y'all are this, that. I'm like, just 5 years ago, you guys were saying the opposite, and now all of a sudden, because you're with this person, you're going to say something. Can't you just stand on your own as an individual and stand by that, and then be attracted to whoever will comes? But then I realized something. I think black women are afraid of standing by themselves and really like having their own identity, because they think that if they're standing by themselves with their own identity, their own thing, and stick by that, that people are no longer going to be around them. And I'm just thinking to myself, wouldn't it be better to not have those types of people who are not even aligned with you in the first place, and to be around people who don't want to be around you in the first place? Like, how is, don't you want peace in your life? You know what I mean? Like, why not? Like, why not have that piece of your life saying, you know what, I am who I am, I'm gonna stick by it, I'm proud of who I am. But no, you can definitely see, like, they really are ashamed of themselves. I'm just like,
Yeah. They don't have any personal integrity.
mm-hmm.
They don't stand for anything. It's like you said, they go wherever the wind blows. One
and,
week they this, next week they that. They don't have any personal integrity. They don't stick to anything.
and that is exactly why we are downtrodden and where we are today, because this is like, you're basically dependent, you're debating your entire whole identity based off of what someone else says. And I understand the whole history with the whole, oh, we were never supposed to be, we're supposed to do that, but I'm like, girl, you know this, that this is that people that black women, they're like that everybody's always trying to define you, so why not just define yourself? And that's why I had this, that's why I was thinking to myself that we've allowed people to like dictate our image and who we are for so long, so why not get black, allow yourself with black women who allow, who present black women in a way where we're multifaceted, we're complex, we're weird, we're fun, we're interesting, we are who we are, and not just some, I like, one dimensional person that fits whatever person needs us to be at that time. And
Mhm.
that's what I'm even noticing with these, even with these clicks. Like, they're with clicks with black women on social media. Like, depending on what factor you are, they're gonna make you, tell you to do this. The other one's gonna tell you to do that. The other one's gonna tell you to have this personality, have that personality, think this way, think that way, think that way. And that's like,
Mhm.
like, we there's a reason why we were not supposed to be in a clique. There's a very specific reason why we were never supposed to be in cliques. We're supposed to be by ourselves. We're supposed to, not by ourselves. We're supposed to be ourselves, our individual selves. Like, why do we have to put
Yeah,
our,
part of a black women community because all of us has a role to play
exactly?
specifically to make us great the way we're supposed to be.
We don't have to act the same way as everybody else. Like,
Right.
everybody, we don't all have to be the same. You keep saying we're not a monolith, but here you are trying to like force us into
Make it
monolith
a monolith.
thinking.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. It's the double talk. It's the double
mhm,
talk that they do because for you to be an independent thinker means the end of them because they don't get to control the puppet strings and get people to benefit them. And that, unfortunately, that's really what it comes about and down to on this social media shit. People are not thinking about taking care of black women, they're thinking about taking care of themselves. And it is partially the way it goes because that's the way this shit works. But you could have it both ways if you are a person with some integrity. But when
mm,
you're not, you're just a fucking exploiter. That's it. A fucking user. And that's as far as it goes. So Jay, wrap up the end of it because I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go walk my
oh yeah.
dogs now.
So, all
Mhm.
right, my last part would just be a message to all the women who are on here. I didn't even notice we were even doing this for so long. So, basically, black women, please get off social media. Like, summer's coming up. Let's just have some fun. Let's just focus on self development. I see some of y'all on on some self development stuff and everything. Great, continue. Shut all these people down. Cynthia, Paris, Yanni, all those people, and please, for the love of God, stop going on these damn Manosphere channels. Like, this is so annoying. Just stop. You already know who these guys are, and yet you want to keep crying around them. Like, goodbye. Anyway, so yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much, Cynthia. For, wait, sorry, not Cynthia.
All right.
Stephanie, this was really great. I'm glad you had this chat. I wish more of them came up, but I was really scared about coming up here last time because I was like, oh my god, I'm not
Don't
that
be
intelligent.
afraid.
But yeah.
Just come and talk. Any, I'm telling y'all, any of y'all, when you want to come and talk and you have something to say, and you don't just get up and start your own channel, you could always just put a comment like, Stephanie, I want to talk about this. No problem. I will join the conversation. Everybody can speak. I'm not here to be a soapbox person. I'm not standing on shit preaching. I want y'all to interact. I want us to change as women. And Jay, I'm gonna do some stuff for you. I'm gonna shout you out because I got some places to go. So I'll put some little videos together to show you. Like, I'm gonna give you a heads up, right? Like, I
Mhm.
love like Louisiana. I go as much as I can. So I'm about to go back down there again because I need to go. Like, I'm a weirdo. I go and I
Mm.
get my palm read because even though it's just some stuff I believe in, I love to do that because I love to see what a person is saying is gonna come for me and what's I just that is my shit, right? So when I go down there, I don't think they're gonna let me record in the shop because the woman is very, very spiritual and she doesn't like she's very strict. But when I go down and I do that, I'll just like comprise a whole bunch of videos and then put them up and let you see some of the things that I'm doing because I do that kind of stuff all the time. I just never until you said that today, I never like thought about recording everywhere when I'm walking and stuff like that so you guys can see it. But I'll start doing that from now on because
Yay.
I just don't think about stuff like that because I'm just down there in my own little world and stuff. Because yeah, I am down there so much, I might as well just live down there, but I don't. But I need to. I love it down there because I love the bayou. Like I'm a weirdo. I go chill on the boat and just be out there watching crocodiles. Not why do I keep saying crocodiles? There are no crocodiles in America. Watch alligators bubble up to the top, go back down, and then I chill on the boat and just glide through and come back. Oh, see, I'm taking too long on this live because I see my son walking the dog. Oh my God, let me go. Let me go. 'Cause
All right, it's all good.
all right, all right, y'all. Let me go get them dogs. Okay, so Jay, I'm gonna do that for you. I really will. Black women, everybody else out there, if you want to be do whatever Jay did today and then some, please let me know because I'm very open to this. Everybody have a great day. All right, Jay, you enjoy. Bye, y'all.